is after the change, correct?
This is after the change. However, it's not after the additional tweaks that she receives in 7.12. She does, however, still have the ultimate that is easy to sidestep, so Lee Sin is an unlikely target to receive that one. But even more questionable than that, it's going to be Twitch off SKT, so no Caitlyn, no Asher Varus. They're going with full-on carry mode, and Twitch is even scarier than Caitlyn in the late game. So if SKT can get by the laning phase and secure Twitch getting by, then their late game threat is going to be even more deadly than what they would have had with Caitlyn.
Yeah, generally when you do want to go for these super late game kind of picks, you want some kind of protection for your hyper carry ADC, but we're going into the second banning phase here in just a sec, and Jin Air is going to have 2 bans that they can leverage towards that.
They're going with a full-on bloodbath bottom lane with Xayah and Rakan. If they start W level 1, action is going to be relentless. I love the Thresh ban here. We might even see a Tahm Kench ban here, making sure that there is no way to protect this Twitch. I expect it to be a Lulu, actually, that SKT would prioritize, as Wolf has played that as his most picked support. However, it is important to note that while Rek'Sai's passive isn't as impressive as it was before, it still is capable of detecting Twitch. So the Twitch pick, not caring too much about that. It just would mean that when it comes to a 5-on-5 or any attention to the bottom lane, Twitch's stealth will have to think twice about it. And there it is, a Tahm Kench ban, so they're okay with the Lulu, just none of this late game monster Kench.
Waiting on the last ban for SKT. We do see Syndra is banned out first against Kuzan. Just wanted to take that away. The Vladimir still available, a pick that Kuzan has shown in both spring and summer, but actually going to ban away the Kassadin as that last ban.
Good ban there. It makes sense with the lane against Talia. It also means that the synergy with Rek'Sai and Kassadin is something that would eliminate Twitch from a fight nearly immediately. Not only does Twitch lose the opportunity to engage onto Kassadin with his mobility, he also can get deleted in a matter of seconds. And as such, they will pick a champion with a similar play pattern. Somebody that wants to flank, that can escape the grasp of an ambush from Twitch and still participate well in those roam attempts and action into the bottom lane that Rek'Sai and the bottom lane of Xayah Rakan can benefit deeply with a teleport LeBlanc in the mid lane.
Definitely will have a lot of pressure, and we do see SKT hovering now on the Rumble. We saw Ntara kind of looking uncomfortable before that was picked, but I'm sure, I feel like every top laner in Korea can play Rumble. I mean, it's such a strong pick. You have to have that in your pool if you're going to be on one of these big teams.
Absolutely. The pushing power and the ability to flex a magic carry into the top side when necessary is imperative if you want to be playing top laner all around the world. All the other teams are starting to pick up Rumble as the premier top laner, and for the most part, so many veteran players remain in that role that they're perfectly okay with playing this champion that has been around for ages.
Yeah, and look at that. We do have Kled as the last pick for Jin Air. We've seen that for Ixu, but also other members of LCK, such as Cuvée. And it's been getting a lot more popularity here in Korea. Definitely offers you a ton of engage. I'm very curious to see how it works with both Rakan and the Rek'Sai, because that's, as you were saying, it's kind of a bloodbath bottom lane, but you've got these incredible engage tools just across the board on the side of Jin Air.
Think of his ultimate as a Sivir ultimate, where champions that would benefit from closing the distance before their gap closers are used as they're necessary for an engage, then they would become that much stronger. Rek'Sai with Kled no longer has to use her tunnel to get into the fight. She can just get in there, get the knock up, and then get out with the tunnel, making her engage that much more effective. And similarly with Rakan and Xayah, the feathers and the root and the charm get so much more out of it if they can just get in position right from the get-go.
Yeah, taking a look at SKT's lineup, it does look like they have a decent amount of disengage as well. You got the Lee Sin kick, the Braum ultimate, even Talia can help out with that, so they can create some space for this hyper carry of Twitch.
Absolutely, it's a dangerous composition that SKT has here with all the AoE damage that can go unnoticed between Xayah, Rumble, and even Twitch's ultimate. Everybody can go down in a matter of seconds.
So this is the one last look you guys get to see of all the players, all the champions they will be playing. So go out there, tell your friends that SKT versus Jin Air is on. We're going to jump into game number 1 right now. So let's do it. Let's jump on to the Rift.
지역에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Got some male fans there for Jin Air.
What a shocking, what a change.
What a crazy idea.
And one day I'm gonna call back to America, 3 in the morning, call them up. Hey, you know SKT's playing right now?
Teddy, oh, they're gonna force the flash. They just chased him through the jungle. Oh boy, that's gonna be a little bit awkward, especially with Blank on this Lee Sin. Taking away the flash already from Teddy. Could see some follow-up ganks in the bot lane.
It's taking a page out of exactly what happened against BBQ, so the position of the AD carries, always getting surprised there. If you're going for a cross-map invade, you can expect one side to be your strong side, and therefore the weak side must play as defensively as possible. And that's going to be trouble for them when they have to deal with a Braum that has flash and exhaust. I can always proc your first hit of the passive. Twitch will follow up with an ambush, and if Lee Sin's right there, you're donezo. But more importantly, it will diminish this bottom lane's ability to all in early on in the game as the danger becomes too high.
Exactly. So already just from blowing that one summoner, SKT, in a pretty nice spot. And look at this. We have another really nice leash to start it off. It's not the Raptors into, or actually maybe they did clear the small ones already.
No, no, I don't think it was cleared. It was warded, so they chose to just start red. But if it's going to be just a level 2 gank bottom lane, they're looking for this, and flash on Braum is all it's going to take. Yep.
There it is, the flash exhaust, and this is the easiest setup of all time. First blood to bang on Twitch. A nightmare situation for Jin Air already.
And we saw it coming a mile away. You kill the bot, you blow the flash right away from a AD that can't defend themselves this early on, and when you're dealing with Lee Sin and Braum, the flash exhaust is so difficult to get away from that. You'd either have to concede the lane entirely or die.
Blank easily can push in now and take the blue as Zaya's not there to help out. And Faker was actually able to get over there and help out at the blue. So Blank having a really nice early game at the same time.
What could Jin Air have done, I wonder? Perhaps just saving your wards early on, and here comes a gank on mid.
Oh, Blank is there at the same time, going to safeguard to Faker. That will shut this down, but actually the knockback onto Umti. Uh-oh, he's going to be forced to blow his flash to get out of there. And already at 3 minutes, things going in one direction.
Yeah, that's going to be SKT just with a full-on pressure advantage. Now Rumble is invading the red side. He knows that Rek'Sai is too low. Pops that blast cone, but take a look at the Rek'Sai's keystone. She's going with Fervor of Battle. So this is a more solo queue-esque Rek'Sai that we know that while her ratios did get changed to benefit from building AD, in competitive, I think she still remains as a tank role champion. We might see him go for perhaps a Tiamat if he has the position to do so, and the longsword would indicate to us that it is going to be a Tiamat coming on early on to help get her that farm advantage that allows Rek'Sai to pull ahead in levels from so many other junglers. It's just a matter of your squishiness early on against a high burst of the champions that SKT have means that you are in danger if you ever get caught out.
You can see the effect of the Rumble up in the top lane. Ixu already being pushed under turret, trying to catch up on this farm, and Dara on the Rumble just so obnoxious, sitting right next to those range minions.
Being obnoxious is how you win League. If you're ever making a move and you think, God, I'd hate myself if somebody was doing this against me, then your answer is probably keep doing that.
Yeah, this doesn't feel obnoxious enough. I think I need to turn up the obnoxiousness of this move.
Exactly. Every time you lose, like, God, that was so obnoxious. I can't believe I lost.
It is. And Teddy still doesn't have his flash, but you can see that Wolf doesn't have either of his summoners. So just trading back and forth, doing a good job there with the Unbreakable to chunk down Teddy's health.
They're going to scout out Rek'Sai once again, and might just be an attempt on a dive here from Faker, actually. Ixu does not have Kled.
Look at Ixu. Look at how low he is right now. This is all just from the Rumble pushing. They're going to dive underneath the turret. That should be an easy cleanup. Faker able to pick up the kill. Umti not here in time, and the teleport from Kuzan. They're trying to turn onto Umti now. In comes Kuzan with the flash. He will be able to burst down Untara. not respecting that LeBlanc damage, and so they are able to trade it 1-for-1.
Well played there from Jin salvaging the situation. They're looking for more, and there is no flash on Umti, so this seems unlikely.
Ooh, nice job there by Faker, knocking Kuzan out of the way. No leash. We'll get out of there.
What looked like a lapse in judgment with that teleport completing turns out to be that SKT greeds out for the kill on Umti and they get punished right away. The kill going on to LeBlanc is exactly what Jin needs to keep a firm grasp on this game. Otherwise, it felt like it was getting away from them. Blank now takes the advantage to get some deep vision, and that teleport from Untara, you know it's going to be used in the bottom lane at level 6, so they're pre-planning a move that's going to happen a couple of levels from now, and if they can pull this off and combo it with a Weaver's Wall and find where Umti is again, then this bottom lane for Jin is not long for this world.
Yeah, very well said, and I think Jin is going to have to realize that as well and come up with a plan. We're going to have to see Kuzan, without his teleport, get down there in time to help out. You can see Ixu still has his teleport, so at least he can respond with that. But now we got that Rumble at 6. We got the Talia at 6.
They still don't have eyes on where Rek'Sai is, and Blank has been getting some control of the river. Looks like the duo lane will be trying to deward a little more.
Okay, trying to get this bear trap on a rope, forcing the equalizer out here. Untara trying to just run away, and Umti just slowed down too much, already down to half health. And no rotation here. They're going to get that leash once again onto Untara, who still does not have his flash. There is the dive, and Ixu will pick up the kill, hopping off Skarl. A little bit of flare there at the end.
The near solo, and to add more flare.
Oh, can he get the knockup? The answer is no. In that unwarded brush.
Styling all over Untara there, getting a bit greedy, going with the cheeky, trying to find Umti, and while he just provides the moral support to prevent Rumble from turning completely, it does secure the kill, and now Kled is in a good position to keep pushing this lane without the teleport from Untara available. The plan for perhaps a dive into the bottom lane no longer exists, and now Jin have the solo lanes in an advantageous position, and that's what they need. If they can continue playing to these two advantages, they can start snowballing the map, especially if it'll eventually lead to a Herald.
Yeah, definitely some stuff going Jin way. I do really love Blank's response at the same time. You know, he wasn't able to get up into the top lane in time to help out, but as you mentioned before, he has total vision of the entire blue side jungle of Umti, and meanwhile, when Umti was recalling, he went in, stole the red, took all the raptors. He's essentially doing whatever he possibly can to try to help out his team and get ahead.
It's deep vision, baby. It's taking advantage of the opportunity cost of going for a gank and making sure that you're getting the most out of it. The return of it is going to be that the cost of just watching Ixu solo out Untara means that you lose red and you lose those raptors, and if they can get an opportunity to get that deep vision again, every play that Jin makes will be met with the same fate. So they have to evaluate what valuable play is for them and what can yield them advantages that can snowball the game further.
Teddy and Snowflower here, almost hitting 6. Bang and Wolf have just hit 6 together, so we might see a little bit of action, but actually it looks like bottom lane of SKT wants to rotate into the Dragon Pit together. Kind of taking an interesting walk through the jungle. May go for an engage here.
Yeah, they pop their blast cone looking for some action. There are no teleports available, so it would be a 2-on-2. Not worth the risk at this stage in the game. You do have the Twitch that is always going to be happy with the more items that go to both ADs.
Yeah, you can see with that early kill, Bang up not only the kill, but 20 CS at this point, so they should be pretty happy with how that's going so far.
And that this lane could have been so different. Right now, one of the reasons why you don't see Twitch being so contested, while you would have expected that the Doran shield change would make it so that these late game ADs can survive.
Oh boy, look at this big rotation up here from Kuzan. Untara in a ton of trouble once again. The equalizer comes down. Umti going in for that ult, and he will get taken out here by Blank with the Dragon's Rage. Faker trying his best to run away, will burn his flash, but he's caught by the bear trap on the rope and goes down to Kuzan at the end of it all.
And Untara is just setting up his own soup kitchen up here, spoons included, because he just keeps giving everything away for Jin. This is the strong side for Jin. They're playing to this side. Look at how passively the bottom lane is conceding. Smart from Umti to be there. The rotation from the mid laner doesn't even need the teleport, so they're capable of taking whatever Ixu's got and just bopping everybody with it. 3 kills go over their side, it couldn't be better for them.
Yeah, and once again, as you were talking about Untara with the soup kitchen, just he's going for the tunnel of Rek'Sai and has no vision. You could see the red side. There's a control ward down there from Jin Air, and we actually have some action in live at the same time. But Untara, I think he just has to play a little bit more passive and not give any more kills away.
It's one team playing to their advantages and another team giving exactly that. Now LeBlanc's got 5 stacks on her Dark Seal. Here's an engage on bottom, though.
We'll get knocked up, the double knock up here from Snowflower, helping out his lover, Zaya.
Making us question what love's all about. Knocking up strangers. Doesn't sound like love to me.
Yeah, it took me a little to get there, but now I understand what you were going for. Makes a lot of sense. So, Untara, now he is the one being pushed in. How things have changed in the top lane.
I think they've finally put him on a leash there. Look at how strong Iksu is with red buff and with no tank lineup on the side of SKT. If Kled gets strong enough, he's going to be able to just tear down anybody on this side. However, what SKT can look forward to here is just going to be bang. Their advantages that they have are still in the bottom lane, an LCS advantage on a kill lead with a completed Blade of the Ruined King. It has to be respected from Jin Air, so at least they're invading together with champions that can get out of any danger in a relative jiffy.
I like the play there from Jin Air with all of the pressure that's been going on from their team. They find a way to get some deep warding down with both the jungle and the support. Starting the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, this seems dangerous for Jin Air. They're not playing to their strength. We saw them do it well in the top side. If they continue playing top side, then I think they'll find just as much success as before, but they haven't included Twitch in the mix, and anytime Twitch is level 6 and with a completed item spike, the danger factor is growing exponentially, and they have vision of him a little bit earlier. Right now he's stealth behind Snowflower, and he's going to get out of the way with a little dash.
Yep, dash over the wall. Looks like SKT trying to take back a lot of vision in this river right now. They did pass over a bunch of the wards in their red side. But look at this, trying to go on to empty. There is the kick and the follow-up by Faker, making that very easy. You never want to do the Gromp on top of a ward. But that's exactly what happened.
Easy peasy, and that's now going to be that Cloud Dragon. There is no chance of contesting it as Iksu is not there. LeBlanc is still stuck in mid lane, and the bottom lane from Jin Air is stuck at tower. So while the Dragon isn't the important objective, it's a ways of getting a fight started and looking for picks. And that's what SKT do it. And Jin Air, with the lapse of reason there, they should have stuck to the top side, perhaps going for a 3-man dive. Instead, they try to start the Cloud Dragon and end up punishing with their lives.
You can see SKT just trying to get as much value out of this entire play as possible. Umti not even coming over to the blue side will totally just give up that blue buff, and that does mean that Kuzan will not have that in the mid lane. Kuzan's still doing okay, sitting at 2-0-1 with a couple of top lane roams. Has that Gunblade completed already and 5 stacks on the Dark Seal, so we could see that LeBlanc getting a little bit out of control. We do have a engage here, actually. Both of these members of SKT getting locked down, but bang, able to pick up that kill, and this could be 2. It's getting close. Snowflower will survive in the end as Kuzan is making his way down, but will not be able to find a kill for now.
It's heart-wrenching to see these teams take advantages in the right places and then just give it up right away. They keep trying to fight into this bottom lane, but this is where they're weak, and SKT just holds no reservations in taking full advantage of what is being presented to them. End up getting nearly a double kill, and now the Twitch is 2-0 with a Ninja Tabis. No chance at this dual lane ever killing it for quite some time. They're going to have to involve Kuzan in this mix, so Jin Air need to look for control into the mid lane, open up the LeBlanc, start making use of both her roaming ability and teleport. Until they do that, they're still going to be at a gold disadvantage. 2,000 gold down so far, and if they can't get more into the top side of the map or with their solo lanes, they're not going to be doing it any other time.
I mean, you said it before, right? They were behind in the bot lane. Oh, well, hold that thought. Kuzan actually trying to dash away. Can they lock him up with the stun? The answer is no. And actually, Empty on the other side of the map is starting the Rift Herald. There's no vision over there for SKT.
So he's getting something in return here. SKT will likely just be going for the blue buff. You got to pull that out a little bit more if you want to hit the eye. And it will be spotted now.
Spotted now while they respond right away. In comes Blank. And that Rift Herald's getting pretty low. Can we see the steal here? Trying to go for it. The spike coming down from Umti extremely early. And Blank easily just able to scoop that up.
Oh, God, that was so bad watching. You got to make use of the eye on Rift Herald. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to take it down. He was so preoccupied with hiding the objective that he never bothered to pull it out to make sure that he could strike it from the eye and make advantage of his damage reduction or increase.
Wolf have this ultimate. It doesn't look like it right now. And we actually do have the double teleport from behind, the charge in from Jin Air, but the Weaver's Wall making his way on in here is Faker, but not going to take it. Ixu actually taking down the Braum. In comes Equalizer. Doesn't really land here. Empty trying to get that ultimate off onto Bang. Bang is still alive. Finally goes down here to the Kled. So much action going down. Kuzan still alive and still a big threat. Untara trying to burn Teddy here. Blank on the chase. Will take him out with that red buff. And now it's Kuzan all alone, forced to jump the wall. And Faker's still on the chase and will take him out for the ace.
Under 17-minute ace out of SKT, and it all started with them opening up on the duo lane. The collapse was imminent, but SKT stayed together as a group, and Jin Air had to disengage from the fight into the bottom lane. So the duo lane just could not participate for the longest time. And we'll look again right here. Here comes Braum. Once he gets here, then the fight, they know that they cannot turn here. So they engage. He knows that Braum is too close. And once he dashes in, they know the disengage is imminent. So he pops the spray and pray. And while the teleports do come out, everybody's on their way down. You see Talia still coming in here, flashing into the wall, trying to get some protection, but the dual lane just can't come in here. Funneling through that Weaver's Wall, no chance.
There's way too much damage there coming out from Faker onto Umti. In fact, we were talking about it before, is not all that tanky, just going damage, and the Rek'Sai pick hasn't been too impressive so far, I have to say.
It's curious to see Rek'Sai use an ultimate in the middle of the fight, just completely disappear. Hey, where'd you go? And then, oh, it just appeared into death once again. It just hasn't been Umti's game.
I mean, it was shut down from very early on. The invade towards his blue buff after they took out Xayah in the bottom lane. And kind of just the snowball effect from there. And speaking of snowballs, after you ace someone and you have Rift Heralds, they took out 3 turrets in total. 2 in the mid lane, 1 in the bottom lane, and now SKT, they are miles ahead, 6,500 gold ahead.
Disgusting, and all they have is now Ixu with LeBlanc, but even Snowflower can't live here.
Yeah, look at this, Faker from behind too. This Lovers duo trying their best to at least get a kill. And wow, they actually do trade 1 for 1 somehow, some way.
The power of love trumps even an 8,000 gold lead. 10,000, you can buy love with that one. Instead here, whoa, he's going to the tower.
Yeah, Ixu trying to charge past. Untara giving up his life, just accepting it, getting all the creeps. Meanwhile, another dive up into the top lane. This should be, oh, nice ultimate there from Wolf, just predicting where Kuzan was going to go. Totally styling on this guy right now.
Not even phase. He knows. He read him like a book, just methodical in the use of his Glacial
Holy
Fissure.
crap.
And Kuzan tries to defend the turret, ends up punishing dearly for it. So everybody just getting caught out left, right, and center. People just want to die here. Over a kill per minute. One of the bloodiest games so far. 1 kill per minute is always such a fun stat to talk about.
Yeah, this has been a fun game to commentate on so far, that's for sure. And Wolf trying to inspire all the potential support mains in the future in one fell swoop.
I do not want to see Brahms going for flash ultimates and miss.
Yeah, you got to be high ELO, which is, you know, of course, silver 5 or above to talk about stuff like that.
Well, actually, percentage-wise, just being ranked is already higher than most people.
Well, there you go. All those guys in Twitch chat, they were right all along.
Well, they did put Blank in as a starter, and now he's the main, so who knows what's real and what's not.
Well, he's been having a pretty sick game so far. We're going to get a replay here.
And the only reason why it goes so haywire is the charm here comes out.
Whoa.
Keeps Bang under the turret, tanking the turret shot, and allows him to at least trade 1-for-1.
I'm dizzy after that one, Crumbs.
You didn't expect those the roller coaster?
That was wrong team for that, but I appreciate the effort, that's for sure. Faker trying to come up here.
He's got no chance of dying to LeBlanc. If he just plays far back, between the Banshee's recharge time and the waves hitting, and the respect that you have to pay to Twitch going Mia, then LeBlanc just has to play side lane duty, looking for teleport plays, mostly just having to pick on Untara. He's really the most vulnerable member from this team, so all he has to do is just sit back, wait for waves, and if he gets dove, then so be it. Occasionally using your equalizer on the turret if there's a big fat wave, and you can see what Jin Air is trying to do. They've got their side set on this little mechanical Yordle, as Rek'Sai was pushing the lane with Ixu.
Yeah, and because Untara has picked up a kill, he is worth a little bit more. It's not like the Xayah on the enemy team sitting at 0-4.
Here it comes.
Actually, Bang is going bot. It looks like SKT is reading this pretty well.
Well, Rek'Sai was pushing the wave for some reason, so I think they have a good idea of it. It's so weird seeing Rek'Sai now. She no longer has a global power.
Okay, equalizer coming down, and this is what I was talking about. Bang making his way in. Blade of the Rune King is popped. Ixu even flashes. Not sure about that one. Maybe a bit of desperation, but they do get the kill. In comes Faker now. Will not be knocked up. That Banshee's doing work. Forcing the TP out here from, it looks like, Kuzan. Meanwhile, a fight between Bang and Umti. Umti will be the victor of that one. Kuzan still going on to Wolf. Will get that stun off. Knock up onto Kuzan, trying to jump on in, trying to avoid the damage. In comes Blank, will be knocked up and stunned once again. This might mean his death, and it will be. Teddy able to pick that one up. Blank going a little bit too
There's
deep.
10 seconds on the teleport. Jin Air could look for a Baron here, and all of a sudden SKT oversteps their boundary, and Jin Air has a lifeline into this game. Where's the TP? Here it comes.
There it is, and it's going to be up to Faker, I suppose. We do have a TP in from, it looks like, Untara.
No equalizer, though.
How are they going to do this? This is going to have to be the godlike steal. Trying to just poke down Kuzan right now. In comes the Flame Spitter, trying to just knock down all the members of Jin Air. The Baron will go over to Jin Air at the end of it all, but already 2 members have gone down. It looks like Ixu will be able to hop that wall. So 2 kills for the Baron.
Worthwhile for Jin Air. This lets them stall out, try to catch up in that gold lead, and they punish dearly. Faker going with the Weaver as well, trying to solo out 2 members with Braum only, and I think the first time on the other side of the map, I've never seen a Rek'Sai ultimate actually kill somebody before. So Bang ends up dying to it, even though he could have flashed away from it. It just seems all too surreal for Jin Air to have acquired this Baron. There's still 6,000 gold in the hole, though, so they've got a lot of work ahead of them.
That they do. We're going to take another look here at the Baron. You can see the poking power of Talia and Rumble, but at least they do secure that Baron, most importantly.
It was so close. I think if Untara, had he teleported a little bit sooner, if they made their way into the pit a bit sooner, they might have been able to take down Umti and remove the chance of a smite and make it just a true random as to who would take that Baron away. Now the Baron remains on Kuzan, and he's split pushing into the bottom lane, so this will definitely yield a tier 1 for them. So what is SKT planning on doing?
Oh, Blank with the early smite. We were talking about both Blank and Untara being subbed in for game 1 for starting in this game, and they looked good early on. Blank setting up the early kill onto Xayah.
Oh,
but then,
I don't know about Untara early on.
Well, yeah, I should say Blank looked good early on, but going a little bit deep into the red side during that one fight, handing over the Baron in a way. Untara still struggling. Might see a sub in of Huni and Peanut, the subs for SKT.
Just force your best worker out, best foot forward. Good moves there from Jinair, just drawing SKT away down to the tier 2. Now they're eyeing the tier 1 into the mid lane with nobody to defend. 2 turrets will likely go their way, and once LeBlanc gets to the wave into the bottom side, then even more gold being funneled back into their pockets. So the gold advantage that was 7 to 8K before the Baron is now shrunk down to 5, and with 2 more turrets, it'll go to 4.
Jinair still with a minute on the Baron, but doesn't really look like they're super focused on taking out this mid-tier 1. It's extremely low, but not grouping up there.
They don't want to overstep their limits here, as they have expended quite a lot of vision in that move into the bottom side that SKT was so quick to respond with their double control wards earlier, and now they have even more control wards, but only at the side of Wolf. Nobody else has really been purchasing many of these boosts, many of these wards. And this is the time where, as an AD or as a mid laner, you would say, hey, would you mind selling your starting item for a control ward, please? Thank you. And then they'll tell you, no, man, no, I don't need to do that. It's invaluable for me.
I need that Doran shield. 26 minutes in. Bang, jumping on in. Here comes the Weaver's Wall, and a really nice equalizer follow-up, although both Teddy and Snowflower are able to run out of there. Teddy will get taken out in the end, as he was just a little bit too far up the lane against this Twitch.
5-man attempt, getting ready to prepare for this Inferno. They're not going to give this up, and Jinair is going to try to trade something in the blue side now, as Ixu's positioning back to pushing that lane, but everybody else is also on this side. They recognize that only Blank is needed for the commitment onto the Dragon, and with Bang MIA and Wolf on the wings, he's in danger clearing the wave.
Blank actually pulling this out, spotting Umti somehow, making sure 100% that this cannot be stolen. I'm going to line that up with the Smite, and SKT will pick up this Infernal Drake.
Here's an opening there, combo with the Weaver as well, so they have to respond. Okay, are we getting engaged on by how many angles? Lots of them, as there's an equalizer that doesn't make anything too equal, but B comes in the end, secures a kill with the resonating strike. Easier said than done.
Hit Teddy for like half a second. That's about it.
Takes a kill, that's all that counts. Kills don't tell the story. It just adds to your KDA. And he's a man who loves his KDA, already sitting at a 4.5 there. One more death would ruin it though, as it would put him in his lowest KDA.
I think he's looking to avoid that as much as possible. Blank trying to make a case for himself to be the starter.
To be fair, I don't think any coach has ever looked at KDA and considered that as a reason to start a player.
Yeah. Well, we got Baron coming up here in a minute 40, so prime time to be clearing out as many wards and get some deep vision in there for a potential teleport from Untara if they want to force a fight here for the Baron. There's a control ward in the pit by Jinair that really needs to be cleaned out. It's still a little bit early.
It will get double negative out there with the double control wards in the pit as they see each other and cancel each other out.
He's been sitting in this exact location a bunch of times, just looking for a potential pick onto Untara in the bottom lane.
He's waiting, but they don't know where Twitch is. Their remaining teammates are not in a position to capitalize if they are to be collapsed upon, so going for this engage is extremely risky.
Well, they see Lee Sin running away, and I think they just saw Twitch in the mid lane pushing that out, so they will go for this, forces the flash and the equalizer, and will play it safe. Do not want to jump on top of that kill.
And just as you said, they go for the engage when they see and confirm that SKT is somewhere else.
Exactly, and Faker looking for something here with the help of Bang, trying to just pick away at that Kled, who has finished the Gargoyle Stoneblade, so it's not going to be all that squishy when he enters these fights.
He's going to be capable of team fighting well, but the damage that SKT can do on the backline will have to be accounted for. And no matter how tanky Ixu himself is, remember that the item does diminish a lot of your damage. So if he chooses to go with complete tankiness, then Jinair's carries will have to play in accordance to both Twitch and the Rumble ultimate.
Oh boy, Bang, he just ran over a blue ward. And unfortunately, Jin Air not really in position to rush a Baron or anything like that. They don't really have any vision over there just now. SKT still in control, always threatening that bottom lane. But we do see Ntara and Bang rotating up towards this Baron.
They have now regained control of the pit by having the control ward, and looks like Bang keeps eyeing Xayah in the mid lane, just waiting to see anybody oversteps their boundaries and gets caught up out of position, because one pick would lead to a Baron being forced by any one of these teams, and that could be the game-winning Baron for whoever gets it. We're already at a point 30 minutes in where these next battles signify most likely who will end up winning the game.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Just one pick, one mistake by either team, because even though Jin Air is about 5,000 gold behind, if they pick off someone, SKT would be in a world of hurt. And Jin Air just playing it very safe. They are very much focused on getting Kuzan down into the bottom lane and getting him pushing with that teleport. They're keeping Ixu nearby so he can easily charge in if need be.
Well, speaking of hurt, you saw how 2 autos, 1 crit on Umti, and he was already, that was about 15% of his HP. Remember that when he pops the ultimate, the damage goes through the roof for Twitch at that stage in the game, and Umti has 1 defensive item. It's Ninja Tabis. The rest is just hit points. Black Cleaver is not a defensive item. Saying that you have a Kindle Gem and a Ruby does not count for being tanky, so he is not capable of staying in the front line for any period of time. So the way that he has to play the fights has to be so well, and most likely will result of peeling against Blank, or maybe try to scout out Blank or Bank before they go for an engage.
Well, here we go. Baron on the way. Do we see a TP in from Kuzan? Not yet. Looks like the TP from Ixu right now. SKT continuing on to this Baron. Umti is nearby. There's the TP from Kuzan. And in comes the charge. Will there be a steal? No! It looks like Rumble able to pick up the kill. There's going to be the early kill onto Snowflower. And it looks like Jin Air, this engage is not going too well. Blank looking for that kill. Faker coming in from behind with the Weaver's Wall. Redemption going to heal up a bunch of members of SKT. The flash in from Blank, getting Ixu, who was cut off by that wall, and so they do get a couple of kills plus the Baron.
And SKT take full advantage of the pressure. Xayah nowhere to be found. The vision was not there for Jin Air. They just had to rely on that Prey Seeker. And you see, she's pushing into the mid lane. By the time that Baron's already way too low, and while the engage and attempt to steal is nice, they try to focus the Twitch, but the peel is there. He does miss his charge in a pretty embarrassing fashion, and then just gets kicked to the wall. Further shame. Shame intensifies for him.
Poor Kled trying to do his job against the Twitch and the Lee Sin was basically just alone. Couldn't do much.
And it didn't even get the flash out of Twitch. So next fight, it's going to be even tougher for them to get this. And I got to say, I am really hating this Rek'Sai pick, especially now because he's building a Giant's Belt, and that's just going to be turning into a Dead Man's Plate, which is not a tank item. You need a Randuin's.
Yeah, they definitely need that Randuin's. And we're going to get a replay of this. Oh, okay, they actually do secure a kill onto Blank. Kuzan forced to flash away.
His face as expressionless as his name for that one. Get it, Blank face.
Yeah. Just going to let that one sit. Yeah, I mean, they get the flash out of Kuzan at least. He didn't seem too affected by that. Bang, he's going in. Meanwhile, Ntara by himself being chunked down by this Rek'Sai. And actually, LeBlanc able to pick up that kill on the back of it. But, I mean, you could see just how far ahead SKT is at this point. They do get the big root onto Bang and Wolf. But, again, it's Ixu against the world as he tries desperately, but will be taken out.
What is going on? Where Blank... or Bang, I keep confusing these two names. Where Bang engages onto the duo lane, but there's Braum right away, so they get happy, they try to turn this, but he's not going to engage in a position where he's going to get caught out that easily. Braum's already there, and in the meantime, Ntara with the great distraction. This surely will be the end of the game with only LeBlanc spawning in 25.
Poor Ntara, he's just been in a distraction the entire game on the Rumble. The equalizers were, they were all right. Faker, meanwhile, taking out Umti. and making things interesting. Snowflower just styling a little bit on his Rakan. The lovers are going to be together at the end of this game, but SKT will be loving the fact that they take game number 1 at the end of it here. GG.
So close there for it almost not ending there, but Untara teleports. He wants to be in the picture. Don't forget about me, guys. I participated.
I was part of this game.
I drew so much pressure top, guys. What are you doing with my... What are you doing? What's going on? Please punish the bottom lane. They're camping me.
Well, he tried his best. I'm curious to see if there will be any substitutions at the end of this. I feel like Blank had a pretty nice game. There was 1 or 2 times where he went a little bit deep, but outside of that, a very solid Lee Sin performance.
SKT saw what their weaknesses were happening and immediately played to the opposite of that. They just kept going for dives in the bottom lane, utilizing Twitch and Talia as best as they could. And in the meantime, Jinair just don't know what happened where they decided to start the Cloud Dragon. The second they committed to that move to that side of the map, everything just went wrong for them when it was succeeding so well in the top side of the map for them. So these are the growing pains that happens when these teams end up playing to the top of the table. When you're playing against a team like SKT, and this is exactly what they do. They see bottom lane, okay, bam, the Xayah had no flash, just go in right away, eliminate the chances of this lane, and a good roam with a 2-man here, great mid lane and jungle synergy, ends up popping once again, making the Rek'Sai look even worse than the rework did.
Oh, and this was so disappointing.
Well, you gotta, I don't think how many times did he even proc the eye on that one? He couldn't even find a way around it. If he actually mechanically got that objective done right, he would have been able to secure the objective before he got scouted. And SKT then takes a fight in the bottom lane long after that, but it's already too late. The dual lane cannot commit, so while it looks like that everybody's solo and the cooldowns have gone down, it's a 2v3 so far. The dual lane can't commit. Now it's a 3v4 or 4v3, so SKT maintained the man advantage, and now it's even more people into the fight, so the chances of them ending up losing just are not there because they always maintain the numbers on their side.
Yeah, and a good fight here from SKT, and this was the ace into the Rift Herald usage mid that secured 2 turrets and 1 bot turret.
This was after they overextended, and Jinair, well done by them, capitalize on the Baron, and while they do lose a couple of members for it, the Baron was a great play by them, so they still have a good understanding of macro and when to go for objectives while the risk might seem a bit too high, but it was the right call, so they're definitely capable of making high pressure decisions in a split-second moment.
Yeah, so Jinair, some showing of good plays in that game. You could see the damage on the Rek'Sai, who was essentially going full damage, was very not that impressive. I don't want to see that happen again.
Did more damage than Rek'Sai.
How is that even possible? How is that even possible?
I'm not entirely sure. Well, he did just linger in brushes all the time. He kind of had an affinity for just this grass is mine.
Yeah. He was kind of the moral support of the team, much as Untara was at the same time.
Yeah, a bit disappointing though to see them trade Lee Sin for a first rotation Rek'Sai. Not really what I would have expected out of a draft in 7.11 after the changes. I think that universally we can all agree that Rek'Sai isn't that great, although it might just have been that game. There were a lot of outliers in it, such as the First Blood, but the play itself of Rek'Sai was something that you don't want to see again.
Yep, not feeling too inspired after that one. So guys, we're going to take a short commercial break.